Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today you join me down in Chorley at Stewart Longton's, and it's very busy here, so if there's any background noise I do apologise, but the yard is buzzing today. Now I've got a question for you, and that is, when is a Sprite not a Sprite? Let's give you the answer now. And the answer, folks, is this: the Sprite Exclusive. This is new from Sprite. It's a 2025 model and it's a cut above the standard Sprite. Now we're going to be taking a look at that in a moment, but I'm going to explain something first of all. So a short while ago, Swift announced to some of its dealers that it was going to be no longer making dealer specials like this one. And there was then a void in the market. So this new Sprite Exclusive is the answer to the dealer special. Let's take a look at it in more detail. So let's take a look at the front of the new Sprite Exclusive. We still have a nice black finished carbon fibre look gas locker. We've got some new black accents below here, and we've got some new inserts at the front with this copper motif for your front running lights. Also, the grab handles, again, they are the same as the previous ones. There's no change there, and again with the windows. Now the sunroof, that has changed slightly, and I'll explain more about that when we go inside. And the Exclusive also comes with ATC as standard. Let's take a look down the side of it. So the first thing we notice on the new Sprite Exclusive is we've got this grey tone, actually, from the top and almost to the bottom. They've decided to stop it just before all the lockers, so that the lockers wouldn't stand out too much and seem a bit garish. They brought out these lovely new graphics with the copper inserts into them, and all in all, I'm really impressed with it. It's really nice. It's going to be quite easy to keep clean, this. Now the Exclusive Sprite also gets these new half diamond cut alloy wheels, which I think are pretty funky. I really like those. Now the rear panels, there's no change to the rear of this. It's just as standard as the current Sprite. So here on the opposite side of the Caravan, on the awning side, we've had a few changes here as well. First one is we now have a window in the door. They've also lowered the magnets down a little bit further to retain the door when it's open, and they're not quite as strong as they used to be, which is great because you're not going to have to yank it in order to actually close your door. The fridge vents are also on the awning side now, which is a clue as to the layout change inside. And also just down here we now have a locker. Next to either side of the locker we have a gas barbecue point, and we have a 230 volt socket point. Let's go and take a look inside. So let's start off here in the lounge, and I already can see, and I'm sure you saw from that quick sweep round, it's actually changed quite a lot. The layout is similar to the old one, but there's a lot more new features and a few gadgets. So let's take a look at the lounge in a bit more detail. So first of all, we have some new upholstery fabric, and I'm pleased to say there's no buttons in these seats, which is excellent. It's a step forward for me. I've always been banging on about how I don't like the buttons, and Swift seem to have answered that with this new Exclusive. Also, we have full cassette blinds, and these are throughout the Caravan. Now, on the side windows, there are no more curtains. Now you get these soft pads which match the fabric of the curtains, which is really nice. A lot less hassle and a lot easier to maintain. So here at the front, gone is the plastic moulding for all your utilities. We've now got a nice wide sweeping shelf, which I think's really good. Now on either side you've got a 230 volt on the awning side, and on the opposite side you've got 2 USB points. Also on here you have a wireless charging plate for your mobile phone, which also includes a USB socket. I'm pleased to say that they've kept the chest at the front. I think this is a really good versatile piece of kit. Pull it out and you've got room for 2 to dine. Also, you can do some work should you wish to use your laptop on here, and all in all I just think this is a really good sensible option to retain. Now you can have an option to remove this and have seating should you wish to do so, but for me personally they can keep it all day long. One thing I have noticed since I last looked at Sprites is there is now a single drawer instead of 2, which I think is a lot better, less faff, and also it's soft closing as well. So they haven't messed with the layout of the overhead lockers, which is pleasing to know, and they are still spacious. There's no shelves in them, but nonetheless they're suitable for storing your goods in. Now they're not soft close, but one feature I do like is this almost like shark skin coloured grey surround on it. I think that's a really nice touch, and it sets off this wood panelling. So in this cupboard here we go back to having a stereo system, and this one is a JVC and it's Bluetooth and DAB, which is really great. Now below the seating we again have this sort of shark grey looking colour, which I really like. I think it's great. It's not going to mark when people are actually sitting down with the shoes, should you allow them in with your shoes. I personally wouldn't. The one thing that they haven't changed, which I was surprised at, I thought they would have actually changed the colour of the carpet. We're still stuck with this biscuit beige, which personally it's not my cup of tea, but at the end of the day it's fitted and you get that as part of your package. Now also in this corner in the lounge we also have the alarm sensor, because this does come with a remote control alarm system. So having done a little bit of research on the internet, I've found out that this sunroof is now fitted mechanically, i.e. it's fitted in and it's mechanically screwed in, so it's not bonded in. So there's not going to be the problems of the past. Now Swift haven't really shouted about this, and I don't know why, because I think they should, because I think it's an achievement, because they've obviously gone away, listened to the customers and come up with a new solution, and hopefully this one is going to solve the problems. I understand this can be retrofitted to the older Sprites as well. So here we have the kitchen, and we've had a few modifications and improvements and upgrades to this as well. Firstly, we have now a flat bottomed microwave, so you don't have the turny plate inside, and it's also finished off in this nice piano black, which contrasts with this what I would call shark skin coloured finish here. The shelf is also retained, but what they've done now is they've moved the light switches to here, and we've 2 sockets on the opposite side. We still have the little hole that you get like in office furniture for fitting a plug through, but I really do like it still. It's something I've always liked in fact, this design. Now the kitchen, we get a nice stainless steel sink, and we also get this new swan tap which is adjustable, which I do like. I can see Juliet asking for one of these. So the hob on the Thetford oven has also been upgraded, and now we have a hot plate and 3 gas burners. So you'll notice there's no fridge underneath the sink, and what we now have is this very large cutlery drawer which opens almost fully, which I think is a great idea. It's better than the previous one in the Sprite because it's wider, it opens up more, and you can see your utensils should you wish to select them. On the opposite side we've got this section here which you can store your tea towels, oven gloves or larger utensils, which I think is a really good feature. Also this is actually soft close as well. Now below the cutlery drawer we have two more cupboards. We have this one with a shelf in it, which stores right back to the wall of the caravan on the inside, which is excellent. And on the opposite side, underneath the sink, we have this large area here. Now this doesn't have a shelf, but it does have this wire basket here. Now the one thing I would have liked to have seen, but then again this is probably down to cost, is if this actually pulled out so you could get at your products that you've got inside there. Failing that, you're going to have to wrestle in the dark at the back of the cupboard to find them. Other than that though, I think this is a really good idea and a good use of space. Now above the cooker we have these two storage cupboards. I've noticed there isn't a plate rack in here. Maybe that's an option that you can add yourself. But what is in here is the Truma control for the solar panel, because on the roof there is a 120 watt solar panel which is going to keep your battery topped up when you're in storage. In the kitchen we now have an additional skylight, which I think is brilliant. Always seems to be dark in the kitchen area, but Swift have added this new skylight, so there's a lot more natural light coming into the kitchen area. Now over at the door things have improved again. We now have a blind and also we have a window in the door, which is great. It allows a lot more light into here, which I'm pleased to see. Also we've now got a 4-inch digital touchscreen control panel and the standard Truma for the blown air and water heating. Across from here we have the television point. Now a few of you are probably wondering, why is it over here and why is it designed this way? Because it's completely different to the original Sprite Major 4SB, and that I'll reveal in a moment. But what we've got here, we've got a 230 volt socket, we've also got a 12 volt socket and an aerial port, and we've got the bracket for fitting an actual TV. The other thing we've got here, which I like, is these two pull down and you've got places to actually put your coats. Standard, we've got our smoke alarm and we've got our carbon monoxide alarm next to it. I also like this feature here which they've added. It really does set it all off and it makes it stand out. Now also in the Sprite Exclusive we do have a switch, and it's quite low down, which is great because you can switch it on before you step into the caravan. Do like that. And we have a bin inserted into the door. Also we have a really wide doormat, which I really do like. It's better than the original. The final thing I want to show you here in the kitchen area is this. This is the new Thetford fridge, and it's a slimline, very tall fridge. That's why we've got the fridge vents on the awning side. Now what I like is with none of this clippy thing that you open this side or you open that side. It's just one clip like so and it opens up, and you've got quite a large fridge here and a deep bucket at the base to store your bottles with, and also we have this large freezer as well. Now below the fridge itself, I like to call this a shoe cupboard. Drops down, great place for storing your shoes. Now we're now moving into the bedroom, and the first thing I wanted to show you, because it's something I'm really interested in myself, is this. They've got rid of that plastic tub that used to surround the bed, and what we've got now is the similar materials that are throughout the base area and the cupboards of the caravan, and this is a lot more substantial and I really do like this. It's not going to be flexible, it's going to really do its job, and it's going to help you retain what you do store underneath here a lot easier and a lot more safer. So continuing into the bedroom, the vanity unit area has completely changed. We have got now shelves where you can put some knickknacks on. We've also got these two coat hook or garment hooks, and we've got this mirror. Now it does have a handle, so you might think, oh, there's a cupboard behind it, but really it's not. What it is, it's to just angle the mirror so that if you sat on the bed you can actually use it to sort your look out. We also have the matching worktop here, and we have a large cupboard at the base. Now this is no shelves in it, it's just a single open cupboard. So here on this side of the bed we have a huge wardrobe. This is really big, and it's easy to access, and because they've kept the panelling in the back nice and light, you can see without having to need a light in here. Down here we have the 230-volt socket and a light switch as well, which is really handy. Now, before we used to have a couple of drawers, and then we had what I call the shoe cupboard, which I showed you underneath the actual fridge. But now we have just a single cupboard door with two large areas and a shelf in the middle. Now, one thing I do like is this headboard, if you will. They used to come up to about here, and then you had the wallboard in here. But now we've got a full headboard, which adds a touch of luxury to this exclusive model. Now, one thing the Sprite never had was curtains. It was something that they never fitted. I've adapted mine and fitted curtains in it, but I do like this idea. We've got the two padded sections on either side, and we've got the cassette blinds here with a fly screen and the blind itself, which I do like. Now, here in the bathroom there are quite a lot of changes. First of all, you'll notice that there's no window here, as I explained outside on the exterior look. What we have now, we have a cupboard above, which is quite handy and it's quite useful. There's quite a lot of space in there for storing your things, and we have these two shelves as well, which I really do like. Now, also here in the bathroom, the towel rail and loo roll holder have also been moved to the rear wall, and we also have this handy little shelf above as well. Moving to the sink itself, we have a new design sink which is recessed into the worktop, and we have new taps. Below is the cupboard, and the shower now, like the Sprite, has this new wall boarding on, which I really do like. I think it's really nice. The shower screen is not a bifolding anymore, as in it doesn't close towards here. What it does now, it actually goes into the shower itself, which I think is a good idea, because when it's wet it's going to drip into the shower unit and not all over the floor. Now, the open ringed camel shower head has been replaced with this more domestic looking one, which does look a lot more substantial than the camel one. Now, above the sink on the rear panel, we have this huge mirror, which is great. Not only does this actually afford a lot more light to bounce through the skylight, but also it's going to be handy when you're having a shave. Now, another thing that I do like is the use of space. This used to be just one sort of box, if you will, but they've added this additional section here, so if you wanted to put spare loo rolls or something in there, they're not going to roll around while you're in transit, which I think is a really good idea. As I mentioned, there is no window in the side of the Caravan anymore in the bathroom, and the reason for this is Swift have actually put two skylights in the bathroom, which I think is a very clever idea, because it allows a lot of natural light inside the bathroom, but also you can use the skylights to vent out any steam should you wish to once you've had a shower. Well folks, this has been the Sprite exclusive range for 2025. Now, the one that we've been taking a look at, and I'm sat in now, is the equivalent to the Sprite Major 4 SB in the standard range, which Swift still sell. This is £27,645, and you might think, "Phew, that's a lot for a Sprite," and the answer is, it might appear that way, but if you take a look at the standard price for a Sprite now, this is only £1,800 more, and I have to say, you get a lot more bang for your buck, and you get some really nice design touches, and also some slightly, dare I say, upgraded quality as well. Now, I'd like to thank Stewart Longtons for allowing me to actually make this film. I do appreciate it. Also, if you're watching, I'll swap you my Sprite Major 4 SB for this any day of the week. Bye for now.